Hello everyone and welcome back to Eastern Healing. This week we are going to take it a little easy because last week was more densely packed with all of those pillars of traditional Chinese medicine and bonus videos and all kinds of stuff like that. So this week we're going to focus still on applications because that's the little unit we're in. But we're going to get a little more specific. So last week was different applications of Chinese medicine, like moxibustion versus acupuncture versus massage, etc. And this week, we're going to talk a little bit more about those treatment goals, strengthening deficiency and clearing excess. We've talked about deficiency and excess in a couple of ways, a couple of times. And we've talked about those treatment goals before, but now I want to talk about exactly how you go about doing that. So, for example, let's start with deficiency because it's the most clear-cut. If someone is seen to be deficient in qi or one of the other vital substances, you want to guide the body to strengthening that, right? And the way we do that is typically through activities that we would consider rejuvenating, restful. Stillness is seen as strengthening. Also, because your body has to maintain a certain body temperature in general, they would tend to recommend not consuming things that are cold. So instead of having a salad and a smoothie and, cold things, they would say have hot tea, have soup, because your body has to get that food up to temperature and basically it's got to be cooked is how they look at it regardless. So if it's already been cooked, already been warmed, when you put it into your body, you're not wasting your own qi just bringing that food up to temperature. Right, so keeping yourself warm and cozy, keeping your food warm are very normal recommendations. Keeping your feet warm in particular because the kidney meridian opens onto the foot. So if your feet get cold, you're losing that valuable kidney qi, right? So keeping yourself warm and cozy, and also sufficient rest, sufficient stillness. If you're doing exercise, having it be more like a qigong type exercise rather than like running, sprinting, lifting heavy things. Those would be things that are more yang. And almost always when we think about people being deficient, we think about they tend to be depleting the yin side. So in order to increase that vitality, they recommend you need to have peace and stillness and rest in your day at some point. The way that this applies to body work is that if you are doing a session that is intended to be restorative or to strengthen, or we would say tonify, as in increase the tone, increase the strength, tonify, qi or yin or something, that session would be slow and gentle and yummy. Our classic full body relaxation massage that puts the client to sleep would be seen as a type of session that would be restoring of the qi and the vital substances in that way. Now, sometimes some applications like shiatsu kind of get a reputation for being painful. Like, oh, Thai massage is painful, shiatsu is painful, these things are painful. And what I would say is if you are doing shiatsu or some other type of TCM-based body work, and your treatment goal is to restore and revitalize the person's qi, it's not going to be painful because you don't want to stress that body out. It's going to be really relaxing and soothing and gentle gentle and yummy. And they should get up from that table feeling very refreshed and like just you filled up the tank on their internal well-being. So that would be tonifying deficiency or strengthening deficiency. Now the other version, right, the other treatment goal is clearing excess. And this one can be a little confusing because we've talked about those vital substances and how we want to avoid them being depleted, how it's really important for those vital substances like your jing, your qi, your blood to be abundant, right? So how can you have an excess of them? And the answer to that is they don't see the substance itself as being systemically excessive. What they see, with the way they classify a excess that requires treatment, is that you have a local excess. So let's talk about that a little bit. So let's just say that you have a meridian. Let's just pick one like the small intestine meridian that goes across, like down and across the back of your shoulder and down your arm. So now you've got someone who maybe their shoulder and arm have pain. In traditional Chinese medicine, when we have just this achiness and pain in the body, what they see as the cause of that is that the qi has stagnated or basically gotten into a traffic jam. Qi is meant to flow smoothly through the body. So if you have an area like, say, your small intestine meridian, where that qi has gotten in a traffic jam, it's blocked up and it can't move freely, in the TCM model, that's going to be a source of pain through the back of the neck and shoulder down along the path of that meridian. So maybe it's not that you have an excess of qi in your whole body, it's that you have a traffic jam in your qi in just that one meridian, in just that one pathway of flow. It's meant to be flowing smoothly, but it's stopped, right? So in that case, what we need to do is get that qi moving again. So when we clear the excess, it's like moving cars along and getting traffic going so that the energy can continue to flow. And sometimes like systemic deficiency and local stagnation is what we call it, that local traffic jam, go hand in hand. Maybe your qi has gotten so deficient that all the cars have run out of gas. So your qi can't flow smoothly because you just don't have enough of it to keep it going. It putters out, the channel stagnates, and then you've got someone who's in pain. Alternately, maybe you've got someone who, because of an injury, a repetitive motion, stress, whatever, they've gotten a blockage in that meridian, a blockage in that energy flow, and the cars of the qi have they circulate through the whole body, they flow through the whole path, they come to that meridian, they get stuck and they build up and they build up and they build up. And so you've got a bunch of this person's systemic qi all just blocked up in that one meridian. And you find that when you then do massage or clear the stagnation in that meridian or in that area, that then the person overall feels more vital and well. And in a TCM perspective, we would say that's because now their qi is flowing smoothly through their whole body. So they're not having to deal with this exhausting pain that's just collecting all their energy potential in one area of the body, and they're free to move and they feel better, right? So as a recap, for deficiency, straight up deficiency, stillness, rest, peace, those things are strengthening. So when we do our treatment sessions for someone who's exhausted, someone who's deficient in their chi. We want that to be a very supportive session, that kind of yummy, soothing session that's just going to send them right to sleep. If you've got someone who has pain or stiffness, that is an indication that the chi has stagnated, right? They've got a traffic jam in their chi. And so from a TCM perspective, we would want to work, like maybe start just outside the area and slowly work to it along the meridian and clear that meridian, get that energy flowing again so that the person can get that chi back into their system and can have just an increased vitality, right? In the case where they generally don't have enough chi, they're generally deficient, and that's created stagnation, that would be like your full body relaxation massage with a focus area, right? If someone's just completely toasted, they're just swamped, they're exhausted, you might not have a focus area. You might just have a good, yummy relaxation massage. Just put them to sleep. It's the best thing for them, right? But in the case where they're exhausted, they're tired, they need to relax, but they also have an area of like increased pain and tension, you move the chi along from that focus area and also do that full body supportive treatment. It's the exact same in shiatsu. If I'm doing a shiatsu session and somebody's like, oh, I have shoulder pain, and maybe I ask them about their sleep, maybe I ask them about whatever I ask them about, whatever the things are in the pattern that I'm looking at. I'm gonna do that full session, and in general, the session will be soothing and yummy and supportive. But in that focus area where there's pain through that meridian, in that meridian, I'll be more quick, more deep, more, the idea is like you're splashing the chi along to get it moving, you know, a little more vigorous to move that chi rather than just slow and gentle in the whole area. And then the final category is when chi is moving in the wrong direction in the meridian. And this is seen to cause all kinds of weird symptoms. So like if the chi is not moving in the correct direction in relation to your digestion, then you puke, right? The chi is moving in the wrong direction. And you also see if you've got someone who has major anger blow-ups, for example, like they get red and hot and they're yelling and it's totally inappropriate because they're in a workplace setting and they should not be yelling at the staff like that, you know? Like that would be seen as the liver chi, which is attempting to move out from yourself, not flowing properly through their system. It's rising up instead of being brought down, and their face is getting red and they're exploding out with this anger and they're getting hot and maybe they're sweaty and their liver fire is rising up instead of being well circulated and keeping them in balance throughout their day. So those are basically, I bunked my camera thing. There we go. Those are basically the things that we're going to be doing during a treatment. And these treatment goals are going to be the same no matter what pillar of TCM you are looking at. If you're looking at massage, then we're going to be focusing on the entire meridian as a channel. And we're going to be treating that meridian either with slow, gentle pressure and kneading or quicker pulse and pressure, you know, depending on, are we splashing the chi along, or are we slowly encouraging that revitalization, you know? If you're looking at acupuncture or acupressure, they're going to be more focused on the individual points as opposed to the whole meridian. And they're going to be choosing their points and how they address those points based on, are they tonifying a deficiency, or are they moving stagnation or coursing the channel, as when you get the chi flowing in the correct direction again. You know, are they going with the flow to encourage the correct direction, encourage strength? Are they going against the flow to splash and make headway and clear the junk and clear that stagnation, you know? Same thing for exercise and qigong. Same thing for diet or for moxibustion, whichever pillar you want to look at there. Same thing for herbalism. These applications of treatment are the same in every single pillar. These foundations you have learned are the same in every single pillar. They are those foundations of deficiency and excess, of 5 elements, of the Zongfu organ system. These things all work together, and they're utilized by the whole traditional Chinese medicine model. It's what they're based on. So that's it. That's the whole shebang. So last week we talked about those 5 element pillars. This week we talked about a little intro to applications specifically, like how do you strengthen yin? What is excess? Because we want abundant vital fluids, right? And then how do you treat it when you find that local stagnation or local qi going the wrong way? And then that's pretty much it. I want to keep it gentle. I've just passed 15 minutes on this video. I don't want to take too much time. And then next week, we're going to look at the hallmarks of Tuina, Ama, and Shiatsu as being 3 different forms of massage-y type body work that are based on traditional Chinese medicine. So for this week, go ahead and do your comment, post deal, and try to relate it back to your own life. Think about or relate it back to your understanding as a massage therapist. And the connections that you see, or anything that you thought was weird or whatever. So anyway, straight and easy this week, because last week was bigger, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good week.